I was with my sister and my brother-in-law today, and I don't know what's going on with this robot thing at all.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, hey, I have to go. I have to go prep for the pod. And they were like, what are you talking about today? And I was like, well, Trump's token. I don't know. I didn't know anything about it at the time. So I was like, there's a crypto project Trump's involved with. And then like, I don't know, AI robots that give you hugs. And they were like, what? And I was like, I don't know. Dina's doing that one.
Malware is a non-technical look at the tech news of the week.
This is a podcast where we learn together about everything from crypto to AI to whatever comes next in tech. I'm Natasha Hoskins.
I'm Dina Burke.
And this is Boys Club.
Wait, is it just Boys Club?
It's just Boys Club.
The Boys Club podcast?
No. Just Boys Club. Hi.
Hey.
This was a fun app.
I agree.
It was a great app. I'm Natasha.
I'm Dina.
This is Malware. This is a podcast by Boys Club where we talk about the emerging tech stories from the week. And I just want to tell you, you guys are so great. And I've been seeing some additional reviews come in for this podcast. And please do that. It means a lot. And it helps
like on
us.
Spotify or Apple?
On Spotify. Yeah,
Oh.
on Spotify. There's been a little uptick of reviews. And I would like more.
That's so kind. Thank
Yeah.
you to everyone who's done that. That's so kind.
Yes. So do that. And if you have already done that, one thing you can do if you're just looking for a little job is just send this to a friend who might be interested.
Mm-hmm.
So we have 3 stories today. What did we talk about, Dina?
Okay, so we're going to start off talking about the Brazil Twitter ban, come to Brazil, etc. Then we're going to talk about World Liberty Coin, which is the Trump DeFi project.
Yeah. Coin. There's no
excuse
coin
me.
yet. There's no coin yet.
World-
So don't spread
Sorry, fake news.
misinformation here.
World Liberty Financial.
There it is.
And then we're going to talk about Neo Beta, the humanoid robot. You're in for a treat on that story in particular. I do think you'll learn something from all 3. Before we get into it, I want to talk a little bit about the Stellar Meridian Conference.
Talk to me.
So there's a conference happening next month in London, October 15th to 17th. It is put on by Stellar. It's their 6th annual conference. And they are highlighting real world use cases.
You love to
of
see it.
Crypto. You honestly love to see it. You love to see it. What a relief it is to see that. Folks from Stripe, Central Bank of Brazil, people who are really using...
Come to Brazil.
We are again. Idris Elba will be
Cool.
in attendance. And yeah, just talking about all the ways that people are using Stellar around the world right now. We do have some discount codes.
Yeah. Big discount. Big discount.
Big discount, yeah.
So if you're interested, the link is in the show notes for access to those discount codes. And thank you to Stellar.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great conference. Okay. Enjoy the show.
Let's start with the Brazil Twitter ban.
Okay. You're going to report on that for me?
I'm going to report on the story for you. I'm sure you're familiar with the bones of it.
Bones, but very loosely. Honestly, haven't been following it that closely.
Okay. So basically, the short story is Elon Musk has been in a months, maybe years long feud with one of Brazil's Supreme Court justices.
Okay. Battle Royale.
Battle Royale, tit for tat.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically resulted in the ban of access to X, Twitter, on Saturday of this past week. And then on Monday morning, the Supreme Court of Brazil formally announced and backed the ban.
Wow. So you have to like VPN it up?
You have to VPN. If you do VPN, there is apparently an $8,000 fine for people who are caught VPNing. Yeah, it's no joke.
I just want to say really quick, if you are a founder or work in a marketing team for a VPN, you should sponsor this podcast.
You should. We're VPN
I'm serious.
users.
It would be very smart of you. So just ears perk up and give us a code and pay us to promote you here. Anyway, continue.
So there's conflicting numbers about how many people this affects, but
Okay.
the consensus that I was able to see was that there's 40 million X users in Brazil.
Wow.
So they're all
that is
off.
Brazil is huge. I forget how huge Brazil is.
Huge country.
40 million. Wow.
Huge country.
Okay.
And it's a big hit to the user base. I'm going to talk about the memes and stuff in a bit, but I want to give a little bit of color to the dispute that Elon's been in with Justice Alessandra de Moraes. I'll just call him de Moraes for the purpose of this
Cool.
podcast.
No problem. Whatever you prefer.
So some color on what's been happening in Brazil over the past couple of years. The sort of culture war has looked very similar to what it does in the US.
Okay.
They had a far right populist president, Bolsonaro. He was in office in 2022. He got voted out of office, and there was an insurrection similar to what we had here.
Okay.
Theirs was, I think, January 8th, 2022. And like people stormed Congress, people stormed the Supreme Court in protest of what they felt was the Bolsonaro election was like stolen from him. So
okay. Very similar. Wow.
Very similar things happening in Brazil. And I'd say the sort of lines that are being drawn in the culture war are very similar as well, where it's like the sort of far right concerns over misinformation and inciting violence and those sort of far right accounts on one side. And then on the other side, you have Elon Musk saying like, you guys are censoring me and you're censoring my people.
Like a free speech.
Like free speech stuff. Yeah. It's honestly similar to what we talked about last week. There's this thing that happened generally called the Twitter files, which has been an ongoing thing that has revealed all this information about how Twitter's been operating.
I can't wait for the docuseries. The Twitter files, it writes itself.
Totally. There's kind of like a Twitter files Brazil edition where there was some back and forth that was revealed that basically where the sort of ire stems from between Musk and Demorais is that, and it was revealed in these Twitter files, was that there's 7 users that the Supreme Court Justice wanted to ban. Okay. And the Twitter files reveals who these 7 users are and what they've done.
Is it similar in Brazil as it is the US, where you have Supreme Court justices that are politically leaning towards the right or to the left, and then their decisions are sort of baked in their political beliefs?
I believe so. I think so.
And do you know where Demorais sits?
I'd say he's on the left. So there's basically 7 users that he wanted to ban for various reasons: inciting violence, like misinformation, but like on the extreme side of the fence. And Musk didn't want to ban these 7 accounts.
Okay.
And it's now escalated to the point where the reason that they've officially banned Twitter in Brazil is kind of administrative. Like they didn't have a legal representative in Brazil. It's like kind of in a detail legal thing. But the crux of it is from these 7 users and the banning of these 7 users. And Brazil Supreme Court guy wanted them to. Musk said no. And then now here we are where all of Brazil is off Twitter.
That is so crazy. That is so insane and stupid.
So stupid. And that's honestly kind of been the consensus around it is no one really thought Elon Musk would go through with it because it's so dumb. And it's like you cutting off, what's the phrase where it's like cutting off your arm to spite your nose or something like that, where it's like you said something like that, where it's like you're willing to lose 40 million
insane
people for these 7 folks. Musk has been on a tear.
Musk is like, I will not, there's like a Bible verse about leaving the one behind. I don't remember it, but he will not leave the one behind or the 7 behind.
He will not. He will not. And it's a matter of principle for him.
I don't think there's anything that I'm that principled about.
Fair enough. Elon Musk has been, posting away. Insufferable, evil tyrant. You're censoring.
Do you mute him or are you engaged?
I'm not engaged.
But you don't mute him?
I don't get his stuff, so I've never had cause to.
Nice.
Do you?
I've recently been getting his stuff. I don't know if I started following. I never used to see anything from him. And then recently I've been getting like a lot of stuff from him. And honestly, my experience of it is if it weren't him, I would be like, this person is like not well. Like,
Totally.
And even it being him, I'm like, this person is not well. But like the experience of it is like adjacent to like your weird uncle who is quote tweeting stuff that you're like, what is that even from?
Totally.
And so I don't feel a need to like mute him because I'm just like, I feel a journalistic responsibility
to understand the zeitgeist. Yeah.
To understand. But it's not fun. Like, it's not like.
Totally.
It's just annoying.
It's like watching a train wreck.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a famous meme, Come to Brazil.
Yes, you love this meme.
I love Come to Brazil. It's so funny. And it basically originates from artists and musicians in particular. Brazil isn't a place that a lot of them go. It's like expensive to tour there. It's hard to tour there. It's a big country, as you're saying. Like,
I'm
you're
laughing because this is probably the third time you've explained this on this podcast. Like, and we've done 160 episodes, and like 3 episodes explaining one topic is actually like a significant.
I'm in my lane. Okay, I'm in my lane. This is what this
it's
is,
important. No, it's good
important.
context.
It's important context. Come to Brazil, and now it's like a thing and a joke where you say "come to Brazil," and
because basically fans will comment that on different like
Ariana Grande's every post that she does, come to Brazil, because she's
Brazilian flags.
She's probably not gonna tour in Brazil because of all these reasons. It's logistically challenging, and they're like, come. And I'd say the other thing about Brazil is that they love live music, like love it, obsessed with it. So it's a rabid fan base, and they're
hungry for the live music.
They're hungry for it. The fandom accounts, there has been a deluge of fandom accounts that have now been revealed to be Brazilian admins behind the fandom accounts.
Whoa, that's huge.
And there's some that are like, Ariana Grande Brazil or whatever, and those are obvious that they're like goodbye forever. But there are others that you're like, oh, well, this was run by a Brazilian. And it's honestly like there's a huge laundry list, and it's basically people have been posting. The reason it's all been revealed is people have been posting hashtag Mil ultimate tweet, like my final tweet.
Okay.
And then there's just like all these posts where people are saying like my final tweet, and it's like Doja Cat stats or like Bruno Mars updates or Diana Agron. Do you know who she is? She's like whatever. She's this actress, like random people where there's been some fandom that's been set up around this person.
I feel sad for them.
I know.
They build these accounts. Was the ban immediate, like right now today, or
I think there was like 1 day's notice.
Wow. Okay. And then what's the path? What's gonna happen?
I don't know. It's unclear. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
It's unclear what's going to happen. The other piece of this is that there were 500,000 Blue Sky signups this weekend. Do you know Blue Sky?
Wow. Yeah. Blue Sky. Jack Dorsey's Twitter clone that then he left.
Former Twitter clone. Yeah. So people were looking to migrate. None of the Web3 social teams took advantage of that. And honestly, Dan from Farcaster did a post that was like,
come to Brazil.
He should have. Honestly, that would have hit so hard. No, he did a post that was like, for everyone saying that we should be courting the people who are leaving another social platform, like that's not how it works. You need to build long-term value, and then people will like come naturally. You want them coming like on their own.
These are unprecedented times.
Exactly. And I'm also like, yeah, you do that and you take advantage of opportunities when they happen. And of course, you have to make a great product. Find a parade and get in front. Here's your parade. None of the Web3 social, I didn't hear a peep about it, is like, honestly makes me really deeply bearish on this industry. That it's like, this is an opportunity. Just
huge
step into it. Of course, build a great product that people will want to use long term and like find value in.
There's never been a more clear use case for why it matters, Web3 social.
And also that, and also switching costs are so high for these big accounts. Why would you ever go to another platform except for if you have to? And like, this is a moment. So anyway, that's an aside.
Love to end on a high note. Okay, well, come to Brazil.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to talk about World Liberty Financial. Here are the contours of it. For the past weeks, maybe even months, Donald Trump and his sons have kind of been teasing that there is like a crypto project that they're working on or that they're going to back. And it's been unclear what that project is going to be.
In addition to DJT coin, or instead of, or like a more official version.
So I would say that that's like a meme coin that like maybe his family are involved in, but like that's never been officially sanctioned.
Got it.
So this would be like, okay, a more official endorsement of a crypto project.
Hard launch.
Hard launch. And then basically Trump starts putting some marketing materials on Truth Social about a project that initially was called the Defiant Ones and then was rebranded to World Liberty Financial. And in the marketing material, it's like, put the power of finance back in the hands of the people. Okay. So that sort of starts to end of August come together. People start following this Twitter account. And then this week, a lot came to light because a few things happened. One, the white paper for World Liberty Financial was leaked. So what the project is became clearer. Donald Trump and family and co more officially endorsed it. and there were some attempts at pump and dumps. So gang's all here.
The Holy Trinity.
The Holy Trinity. So we're going to talk about what actually it is, and then we're going to talk about the concerns that people have around it.
Okay.
So the DeFi project that is built on Aave and Ethereum, and it wants to drive the adoption of stablecoins, and the project includes a credit account system. Those are a few things that are happening, built to facilitate decentralized borrowing and lending is what I'm reading.
Okay.
Yesterday had a Twitter thread with a lot more information about the project because there was a lot of, as you can imagine, a lot of misinformation going around and around on it, and with the scams and pump and dump attempts, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
So here are some things that from the horse's mouth. We're not just another hostile fork of Aave. History shows those don't work. We're working with Aave, collaborating to create a platform that sets new standards and pushes all of DeFi forward. This is a partnership to build something truly transformative. They go on to say, we want US pegged stablecoins to remain the world's settlement layer for the next 100 years. The US dollar has been the backbone of the global financial system for decades, but is now under attack by foreign nation states. By spreading US pegged stablecoins around the world, we ensure that the US dollar's dominance continues, securing America's financial leadership and influence on the global stage. One thing that did make me laugh is that there was this thread that they published, and
World Financial Coin.
World
Financial.
World Liberty Financial. So fucking
Got a
dumb.
knack for naming things. Go ahead.
And one of the first replies with like a ton of activity on it was, it's a mistake building on Ethereum. And I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Like,
Honestly.
you're so annoying. Everybody in our industry is so annoying.
So
just like,
annoying.
oh, anyway, that's just an aside. Another big aspect to this is that there is a governance token, WLFI. That's what it's called.
Okay.
And this will allow their owners to participate in the management of the project. They'll be able to vote, suggest new additions to the DeFi lending market, and what blockchains to integrate. There's a lot of speculation and talk around why and how the structure of that white paper with the tokens and the allocation of the tokens strategically is being done to get around security laws, which of course they would be thinking about. And that slides me into some concerns that people have based on the leaking of this white paper.
Okay.
Are we tracking so far?
Totally.
Okay. So the first thing is that the documents and other reporting from these documents talking about this DeFi lending protocol is very similar to another protocol that was called Do Finance. And Do Finance is a dApp that was hacked, I believe, last month. And it seems like a big part of that team has come over to work on this project. And so there's a lot of concern around their security efficiency, and if that project was hacked, how this project won't get hacked.
One thing I just have to say here, it just is incredible in this industry how people can fail forward, fail up. It's remarkable.
Remarkable.
It really feels like unique to crypto how often people just keep failing up. But anyway, keep going.
Well, I'm going to take that as a positive. Just if this whole boys club thing just goes down in flames, that only means good things for both of us. Totally. Apparently.
That is a great way to look at it. Keep going.
Okay. Another concern is that 70% of the governance tokens are being allocated to founding team members, and
70%?
70%. And so for listeners and those who aren't in crypto, that is a crazy high percentage of allocation to original team. Some of the articles that I pulled here talked about how, compared it to ETH and Cardano, and Ether, there was 16.6% of the initial tokens were allocated to founding team, token allocation essentially. So it's 3, 4, 5, whatever, many times more.
That's crazy.
I don't know. Part of me is like, I'm not naive enough at this point in my life to think that projects like this don't have very smart people who are puppet mastering what's going on behind the scenes. And that is true of this project. Like, it must be, because there's too much money, there's too much potential power. Like, we're literally talking about the Republican candidate for the president of this very country. Like, someone's thinking about this.
Totally.
And my thinking is like, yeah, of course they're going to do that. Like, they don't want this to be a decentralized organization. That's not what any of these people are going to want. They're going to want this to be incredibly centralized and have a tight grip on exactly what's happening with this project, especially if he becomes president and especially if it's successful. Like,
I think the counter to that would be that kind of flies in the face of like what DeFi can do.
Totally.
And stands for.
And like the principles of DeFi. And those are some concerns. The initial team, there's 4 members from this DOE team that have come over. And then a big part of their Twitter thread post this leak was of the white paper and all these publications talking about it was them talking about who they're bringing on from a security perspective that is going to ensure that this is a legitimate project and stuff like that. I just ignore all that because I'm like, nothing has any credibility to me at all anymore. Like, it just doesn't matter to me. And so anyway, I'm sure someone somewhere thinks that it's super important, and maybe it is, but personally, whatever. Okay, then here are some takes that people have. Nick Carter, you know that guy? Mustache, pro-Trumper.
Pro-Trump guy.
Big pro-Trump. So he's pro-Trump, and his take is this. He posted this on Twitter yesterday. Is there something that we as crypto Twitter can collectively do to stop the launch of World Liberty Coin? I think it genuinely damages Trump's electoral prospects, especially if it gets hacked. It'll be the juiciest DeFi target ever, and it's forked from a protocol that itself was hacked. It's also an obvious target for the SEC. At best, it's an unnecessary distraction. At worst, it's a huge embarrassment and a source of additional legal trouble. So are we signing a petition or what? Also hilarious. Yeah, petition's really going to be the thing that unlocks this all. So that's the take from some pro-Trump crypto influencers, is like, this is a distraction. This is a surface area for risk. This is going to get hacked. This is going to make the industry look worse as something really public gets hacked or has a bad rep again in this industry. So that's some take that I've seen. I think obviously people who are liberals who work in crypto hate it because it continues to solidify Trump as the pro crypto candidate. And a lot of the messaging that I saw from Trump was about that. He's endorsing this project specifically, but it's all part of a narrative for him around being the pro crypto candidate.
Right. I guess what it leaves me with is like, I don't understand why he would do it. I don't understand why they would do it. It just seems like, I mean, to Nick's point, though we're coming at it from a different perspective, I'm not pro-Trump, but if I were Trump, it just seems
misguided.
Like the risk feels disproportionate to the potential reward.
But that's Trump.
The risk always feels disproportionate to the potential reward. Totally.
And then sometimes he becomes president of the United States.
Okay.
Like, ideologically, I am not a Republican. And I am a Democrat, and I'm a liberal. I now work in an industry where my livelihood is directly tied to my livelihood. And honestly, like, the flourishing of the industry that I work in is directly tied to somebody that I hate. Like, if Trump wins, it will benefit us. I'll literally make more money next year if Trump wins. Yeah. Like, because there will be an influx of capital that comes from Trump winning. And it feels really bizarre. It just feels tough. And a lot of people feel this way in much, 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 much more difficult circumstances than me. I'm in a privileged position around my circumstances, 100%. But there is like a direct ideological conflict in my life around what will directly benefit me in my business with what my actual beliefs are around the world. And I feel like this project and Trump and this election, like, it's crazy how much that has brought that to the surface in such a crystallized way. It's not like gray. The main issue that I have is Trump is only going to do what serves him. And he's self-interested, and I don't trust anything about him. I do know that there has to be smart people around him who are thinking about how this impacts their bags. And so it's interesting to see what will happen with this project.
I wouldn't say it's guaranteed that Trump winning would benefit.
No, it's totally not.
The crypto industry. I think certainly there'll be a bump, but I don't know that, like, past 4 months, 6 months, when things start to not materialize in the way that people wanted it to.
Yeah.
I don't know that it would be sustainable. So I think, like, it's not a foregone conclusion that it would.
That's true.
I think, like, certainly
it's just like more likely.
I think so. Yeah.
I think so. Than Kamala. And then Lara Trump. Lara or Lara?
I don't know.
Laura Trump?
A wife?
I think one of the wives, an ex-wife.
Okay.
Can't recall. There's so many of those blonde ladies just bopping around.
Laura.
And Tiffany Trump, both were hacked, and Pump and Dump was tried to push through their channels. So we're
Solid.
on track, on message. Everybody's hitting their notes exactly right. So yeah, that's definitely going to happen. It's not even like that interesting to talk about.
Totally.
Like, and then how they're distributing information, which I do think is kind of interesting based on our story last week, is a Telegram group. There's 200,000 people in this Telegram group. It's like a distribution channel for them. And it's where they're posting updates about their messaging, what's happening, their advisors, when there was a hack, blah, 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 blah. So it's a crazy little spot on the internet that I'm now, I guess, in just for
hanging out.
Me and my people in the World, what's this thing called again? World Liberty Financial Telegram group. I'm like, hey guys,
a safe space.
Official Trump DeFi channel is the subheader of it. So that's the story. I would love to know what I got that seems not exactly correct. And thank you to the many people who wrote about this that helped me get up to speed.
Okay, the robot thing.
Okay,
we're going to end really quickly with the robot thing.
I'm excited to hear.
Did you see the video?
I did see the video.
Okay, so basically there's this video that went viral last week, which was this robot guy, a humanoid robot. And basically
humanoid? What is that? Oid?
That's what they're calling it, humanoid robot.
Oh.
Like a human-like robot.
Oh, okay. So wait, it was a actual robot?
It was an actual robot, yeah. It looked like a man. Yeah, it was.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, 100% I thought that was a man in a suit. Like, I was like, this is like, it reminded me of like our Indiegogo days where someone's like, we're building a robot, and like they put a guy in a suit and do a promotional video and put up a campaign.
Totally. Whoa, throwback. No, it was really a robot. And the reason for the listener that Natasha had this experience is because, first of all, you should just go watch the video right now, but it's man-sized. The robot's man-sized.
It's huge.
It's huge.
It's honestly bigger than most men, I would say, probably.
Yeah. It's a big boy.
Big old boy.
And basically the video that went viral is the robot walks over, picks up a backpack that's on the floor and hands it to a woman. She takes the backpack, and then they end with like a side hug. And then the robot waves to the camera. It's a really weird video. Honestly, it's a really weird video.
Dystopian. It's a very weird. And they're in what is clearly some sort of set that they rented. It's budget. It feels budget also.
Yeah. And the music is kind of creepy. And the whole thing just feels misguided. And also the fact that the robot just picks up a backpack. It's like, what, of all the things to demo in that moment, like picking up a backpack off the floor. So anyway, that's the video that went viral. It's a company called 1X. This product is called Neo Beta. Humanoids for the home is what they're pegging it as. This is a beta launch, so it's
clearly
they're just getting it into homes to do some testing. And
couldn't be me. Could not be me.
There were some other videos that they were released to sort of show the dexterity and skill of the robot, brewing coffee, picking up a little egg and handing it to the woman as she's cooking.
Oh, that's cool.
Cleaning wine glasses for the dishwasher. It can lift things up to 44 pounds. So that was part of the sort of backpack
demo.
Backpack demo. One thing that sets Neo apart from other robots, I guess, is that it doesn't use hydraulics, like rigid hydraulics. So have you seen like the Boston Robotics video? So those always go viral because they're crazy. It's like a robotic dog and it is like attacking someone or something, something creepy. That uses a hydraulic thing. And this Neo has a lot more of a fluid movement. So like you can see it walking, and it's many years away, but it is in the same thread as the like Westworld style robot.
Yeah.
Many
lifetimes potentially
years away from that. But it's sort of the infant of that technology. A couple other things in the story that is honestly super weird. Well, first it's powered by OpenAI. OpenAI invested in their fundraising round, so they raised $100 million from folks including OpenAI.
Honestly, $100 million feels like it would go in like 3 or 4 days.
For robot stuff, totally.
Yeah, robot stuff. I'm like, they're buying parts. Like,
Totally.
it's hardware.
I
Like,
totally agree. I totally agree.
what?
Although I will say that the monetization strategy is pretty incredible. So right now they're selling for $120,000, but that's basically for people who are like super into it and like just want to do it and whatever. Elon Musk will buy one and have it in his home. But when it comes time for mass production, they're talking about it being the price of a new or used car. So that's kind of the relationship you'll have to it.
Pre-COVID or post? Because those are two very different realities.
And that there'll be subscription payments. So there's a very robust pipeline of revenue coming their way should they figure it out, which I think is a big if. But that's kind of the relationship that they want you to think about having with your humanoid robot is like you're buying a car, basically. It's like that type of expense and experience. The other thing that I found really weird about this is that it uses OpenAI to power its chat. One of the things that they're really proud of is that the robot can use nonverbal communication. So like a nod or a glance, it can kind of pick up.
That's kind of crazy.
You're like passive aggressive.
So like, why are you being a bitch?
But the weird thing, which honestly, like, of course, makes a ton of sense, but also is creepy, is that it has what I heard referred to as hive mind awareness. So all of the robots are connected,
talking shit about you to each other.
And it's like distributed information, and they're all sharing information, and they're like,
man, it's the girly group chat on steroids.
It is, unfortunately. And that's it.
That's crazy.
It's weird. They're looking for the chat GPT moment for humanoid
robots.
They
are. Aren't we all?
Aren't we all?
This is a crazy story. You know what it reminds me of? This meme format is like really continues to just like live on, and I see it on Twitter where there's this picture. It's a headline that's a screenshot, and it's a man in bed with a woman who is a woman, but like looks Ex Machina-esque. Like, it's not that, but it's like you could tell she's like robotic in some way. And it's like human robots. It's some sexual innuendo about like human robots will be here in 2025. And this was like an article from 25, 30 years ago. And people are now reposting it, and they're like 4 more months, like 3 more, counting down to this fake reality. And it kind of lives in this same era.
Sure does. One of the tweets I saw, like pretty much like underneath the launch tweet, was for $120,000. I hope it comes with a dick or something like that. Like, so basically speaking exactly to that.
I hate that so much.
I know, it's awful.
I hate that so much. Okay,
so that's Neo.
That's Neo.